Yo! So today Claire and I are hanging out in Palo Alto. Our first stop for the day is Ladder Rock Chocolate Suisse. It's a Swiss chocolate kind of store that sells a whole bunch of handmade chocolates. And we got some 4 different kinds of chocolate there. It's pretty expensive. I think it's around $56 a pound. And so we got about 0.4 pounds, which came out to be $22. So we got some strawberry, raspberry, white chocolate. We got some hazelnut, dark chocolate, and some other stuff in there. And while we were there, they gave us a whole bunch of different samples, and the samples were all amazing tasting. So we came out buying 4 different flavors. Alright, so we are now in Redwood City. We were trying to go to a pizza place called La Quinta Pizza. Unfortunately, they were closed today. Today is a Wednesday. Unfortunately, also, they don't have any hours or anything posted on their restaurant. So we ended up going to Capelo's BBQ instead. Capelo's BBQ is about 5 minutes away from the La Quinta Pizza, and at Capelo's BBQ we got the 2 meat plate, which includes the pork ribs and the beef brisket, and then we got the kale slaw and the mac and cheese for sides. So the meats were very juicy, and they're not overly like salty or saucy. We thought the food was very good. And the thing is with the barbecue is that, you know, you have to eat it fairly quickly. I think after about 5 or 10 minutes the meat starts getting dry, and so we thought that after about 10 minutes the meat wasn't as good as it was when it first came out from the kitchen. And so I think, especially if you're gonna get the food for takeout or, you know, something like that, by the time you take it home, the meat will probably be already kind of dry. So definitely it's something that you would want to eat indoors. And so we finished our food there, and later today we're going to be going to a 1-star Michelin restaurant called Protege. It's in Palo Alto, and we're looking forward to it. What do you think about the Capelo's barbecue?
It was great. That's all.
That's all. Okay.
Yo.
So Palo Alto is home to Stanford University, and Stanford University really has one of the most beautiful college campuses that I've visited. Their campus is really huge. It's like a sprawling campus throughout the whole city of Palo Alto, and their medical center, there's a Stanford Medical Center that's included on the campus, and so they have a lot of different greenery and little trails throughout the campus. So we really enjoy just walking around the Stanford campus and checking it out. I think we've been here maybe twice before, and every time we feel like there's always some other stuff to check out. So now we are walking on the Stanford campus. So I just want to tell you guys about the restaurant that we're going to be eating at later called Protege. It's a 1 Michelin star restaurant. It was open about 3 years ago in 2019. And the head chef of the restaurant is an alumnus of the French Laundry. He was a sous chef there for I think 6 or 7 years, and then he left to create his own restaurant. So we're excited to go eat there today. It's going to be our 4th 1 Michelin star restaurant, and the only thing about the restaurant that's kind of weird is that, and kind of like unacceptable, is that they require you to pay the full meal costs for the reservation. So the tasting menu at the restaurant is $210 per person, and after tax and tip and everything, it comes out to be about $580. And that's the price that you have to pay to get the reservation, and there's no refunds for the reservation. So if you have to cancel, 48 hours or later before your reservation time. Otherwise, they will not refund your money. So we find that kind of ridiculous considering how much money it is, and also the type of cuisine that they sell there. It's, you know, they don't really sell, they sell pretty much like lamb and crab and that kind of meat that they can definitely use for other customers. So we find that not a good customer friendly kind of policy. It's really good to see the students back on campus. It's nice to see people biking around and walking around on campus. And today actually is the first day in Santa Clara County that they took off the mask mandate, so masks are not required anymore for indoors. So it's starting to feel like, you know, things are starting to get back to normal with COVID. Stanford is known for having a lot of trees. So we just finished our meal at the Protege restaurant. It was the tasting menu, which was a 7-course meal, and we've had some of these before, especially at a restaurant called Madcap and also at Zia. And we thought that this particular meal was special in a lot of ways. I think it was one of the best meals we've had. I think I would still rate Madcap above this restaurant, although there were some dishes at Protege that I think were one of the best dishes that I've ever had, especially like the lasagna, the 9-layer lasagna, the king crab.
Yeah.
And then the first 3 or 4 dishes at Protege were fantastic. I think those dishes were very memorable, and we would say this place is a little bit overpriced, I think, for what it is. I think Madcap, the other Michelin star restaurant that we ate at, it was only about $380 total for 2 people. Protege was around $580, which is $200 more, and the quality of the food, the ingredients between Madcap and Protege are very similar, but we would say that it's Palo Alto here. Palo Alto is known to be a little bit more expensive than other areas, and so the price at Protege especially makes a little bit of sense, especially also the service. I think at Protege is better than Madcap. Also the ambiance at Protege in terms of like the restaurant build quality and stuff like that, the feel of the restaurant is definitely better as well. So all in all, I think I wouldn't say I would go back to Protege and eat again. I would say that I would go back, or we would say that we would probably go back to Madcap and eat again. But considering the price of Protege, I think the price is a little bit too high for us to consider going back again. So I'm just gonna run through all the dishes that we had at Protege one by one, so you can take a look at all the dishes.
And at the end, they give us the cookies.
Yeah, so they gave us a little parting gift, a little brioche cookie, and so that was a nice touch.